予想。この場でこれ以上戦っても高荷恵奪回は無理と見た。
そちらから攻めてきたんだ。
敵方にそうまでする義理はない。
ならば是が非でも置いていってもらう。
焦らずとも高荷恵をかくまう以上いずれ戦うことになる。それまで勝負はお預けだ。
Okay, so that was a clip from the latest episode of Kenshin. The new episode's going to come out in a couple days. And this was more of a build-up episode, so that's why my review is kind of late. There really wasn't too much to talk about on this episode. But a few interesting things did happen. So the episode starts off with Kenshin and SANOSUKE versus HYOTTOKO, who's this big, fire guy right here. This dude right here. And, he basically, what he does is he swallows this flammable oil, and then he spits it out, and it turns into fire. And, it's basically like a trick that's used at a lot of, like, shows and stuff, circuses, stuff back then. And Kenshin even calls him out on it, and he gets pissed. He calls him, like, a circus act. And, or street performance. And Kenshin, cuts through his attack. Like, it's basically nothing, because, he's the Batosai. And Miss Megumi, she thought this stuff would actually work on Kenshin, but she doesn't know Kenshin is him, and this stuff just is not going to work. Kenshin is just too skilled. It's not happening. In fact, SANOSUKE showed it ain't going to work on him either. He just powers right through the fire, and he lays his ass out. So, he's pretty much done easily here. And then Bishimi in the bush, he hits Yaiko with some poison. Yaiko, he gets messed up, but luckily Miss Megumi, she knows a lot about poison because she's a chemist. She makes opium, lots of stuff, and she used to work for this doctor before she was a drug lady working for Kanryu, so she's able to help out Yaiko. So Yaiko ends up fine, thankfully. And Hannya shows up here, who's this ninja dude that I just showed in the first snippet. And Hannya, he's like the most badass ninja in Kenshin, with the exception of Aoshi. And basically he knocks Kenshin on the ground. He's one of the first guys we had to see, besides Janae now, that actually lands a hit on Kenshin. But we see later on that actually Kenshin, we didn't really get to see in the clip, he hits Hannya with his sheath of his sword right in the liver, like a real pro. And this actually messes up Hannya, and he tells Aoshi he needs a few days to recover after this. So Kenshin, he still really kind of won that interaction. Hannya knocked him on the ground, but Kenshin got honestly the bigger shot here of this fight, even though we didn't really get to see much of it. But yeah, Hannya, he's really badass. We're going to get to see more of him next episode. The reason he wears the mask is he looks really, really crazy without the mask. More so in the manga, and since this version covers the manga more, I think we're going to really get to see, hopefully, his full face, which is really going to be cool. But I'm not sure how the pacing is going to be. We're probably not going to get to the full fight between him and Kenshin in the next episode, but we might see him a bit. And we're definitely going to see more of the Obi-Wan guys and Kanryu, who at the end of this episode gets a Gatling gun, which I think he gets it from like some U.S. guys on a ship. That was cool. We didn't get to see that in the original anime. And that's foreshadowing for things to come, because that Gatling gun is going to be used. So, yeah, I just wanted to cover this episode because the new episode is going to drop in a couple days. And thought hey, might as well do the review. It's late, but better late than never. And, so far the new Kenshin is holding up pretty well. It's not as good as the original. Doesn't have that, the nostalgia. I kind of prefer the original animation. Feels a little bit more lively. Obviously the music was superior in the original, but this version is pretty good. If this is your first Kenshin, it's not bad. Definitely, if you're an OG Kenshin fan, the series has been good. I can't believe we're 9 episodes in. It's fantastic. Give it a watch. Definitely is if you definitely prefer the manga, you're going to enjoy this version. So yeah, I would say, 8 out of 10 for this version, or 7.5, 8 for this episode. But yeah, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. And wherever you are, have a great night, have a great day, and peace out.